Okay. I still got this squeaky table here. I don't know what to do with that, but it's either the table or it's me. I'm going to share a couple of scenarios with you that you might find you might be able to get something out of it. I got a friend who lives up the street, and I've known him for 40 years. Good people. He's in the trades, works on people's houses. His dad did the same thing, and they're not. Let's call them blue collar. They've always worked. Never had fancy cars. They bought nice used cars. As far as keeping up with the Joneses, they've done a poor job. That's never been their thing. Had simple homes. But if you're on the outside looking in, you'd think, well, these people must not make a lot of money, or they just didn't, you don't see a lot of wealth there. They've definitely not built an empire. His dad is still alive. Just a simple people. And they do not have a lot of money. But I don't know anyone or any group that has fished more, hunted more, and in other states, the Rockies, Montana, all these places, hunting all over the place, surfed, that kind of thing. I don't know anybody's had as many adventures as these people. And okay, so they don't go on a cruise. Never really could afford to go on a cruise, so that wasn't their type of thing. But they have picnics with the family. Couldn't afford real fancy cars, so they took good care of the one they had. No fancy houses, so they kept the one they had real nice. And like I said, never really made a lot of money, but had a hell of a time. Fishing, hunting, shooting, you name it. And when the dad kicks off, there's probably not some big chunk of money left behind for the kids. And they don't need it. I mean, they're doing okay. Everybody's doing all right. Don't have not a lot of wealth, not a lot of money. I know another guy lives in another county over. Had 5 sons. Has 5 sons. And this guy was in ag. He had a good chunk of land. And had given his boys, he has 40 acres. Paid for, owns it all. And told his sons they could build a home, put a mobile home, build a home, live in a tent, didn't care. On his property forever. You can build here, raise your family here, whatever the case is, and avoid having a mortgage. And 3 or 4 of his sons took him up on it. And they're all successful people as far as they all have good jobs, make good money, and 3 or 4 of them have not ever had a mortgage. So if they're making 40, 50, 60 somewhere, they're keeping most of it. That's pretty sweet. Doesn't charge them rent. They pay the utilities and all this stuff, but they build homes on this property. That was what the father did for his sons. I thought it was a great idea. And that was their inheritance, so to speak. It was there for the taking. And they said at least 4 of them took advantage of it. I talked about this in the past where my uncle had died. I think it's been about 2 years ago now. Died of a stroke. Not my cousin. This is my uncle. He died first. and he had a pretty good, a sizable estate. Left it to my dad and his brother. There was 3 brothers. Now I see sizable estate. Think of 1.5, maybe 2. I'm not really sure because a lot of it wasn't disclosed. Anyhow, 2 brothers get a nice lump sum with assets and other stuff, but it was high value. Nothing to laugh at. You could split it in half right down the middle, and it was plenty to change the lives of both of these guys. Plenty to go around. My dad's brother decided he didn't like the way it was played, coming out. He hid a lot of he was the one in charge of the estate, splitting it up and all that. And so he absconded with a lot of stuff. And ended up in court, $100,000 in legal fees. My dad got a portion of what he was going to get. And just a big mess. Absolute mess. Or maybe other people would work out better, but here you got probably the happiest group I've ever seen. These people up the street that never really made a lot of money. They just worked hard. And they played hard. And they're happy campers. Like I said, the guy's a little younger than I am. He's working and surfing. I mean, what more could you want? And his kids are already raising their own family. It's not like everyone took care of themselves. Once you're 18, you're out there doing your own thing. And you got the other guy that left all his stuff to his boys while he was alive. And talk about you may not want to live with your parents, so to speak, but 40 acres is a big chunk of land. You could not see each other living on 40 acres. But left his son something while he was alive so they could take advantage of it today and get the benefit from it today while this guy was alive. He did this. It's gone on for a long time. They don't have to wait for Dad to die to get the benefit. He gave them free land today. They've had it all this time to put their home on. That's huge. I mean, if you're making your typical house payment is around here is probably for a little track home dump used things around $1,500 a month. How'd you like not to have that payment? I thought it was a sweet idea. And this guy doesn't have a big chunk of stuff to necessarily leave behind. I'm sure he'll divvy it up or whatever the case is. But this guy left something to his kids that they could enjoy today. And then you look at my dad and his brother. My dad, he got some money from this thing, and basically it was a good chunk of money. It paid off a lot of mortgage stuff that he had. It paid off a lot of his property, so most of it's gone. But today, if you and he's over it now, but if you bring up the brother or whatever, you can see it just turns my dad's stomach. He resents him so bad. And the sick thing is too, is his brother, the one who screwed this whole thing up, still is trying to get back in with the family now. Like, well, let's just blow this off and make it like everything's okay. It's just ridiculous. These are Italians. These people they don't forget anything. And then as far as my dad's concerned, and he's the one brother is written trying to say, hey, happy birthday or whatever the case is. My dad writes it back, says, you're dead to me, don't write me. See you in hell. So what $2 million, almost $2 million, it destroyed the family. My dad resents his brother to death. And it's ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Out of all this group, the poorest family was the most happy. Just amazing. Now, some people handle these things better, but if you are someone who's going to leave something behind, if it's considerable, my advice is do it before you're dead, or have everyone know what's going on before you're gone. If you're going to cut out little Jimmy because he's a dipshit, okay, well, you should make that public beforehand. If you can't make that public, because otherwise it's just a big battle after you're gone, and you're not here to sort it out. And it's really not fair to the people behind you. So if you can't cut little Jimmy out because you feel bad for it, don't be a chicken shit and do it when you're dead, and leave for the family to deal with it. Okay, get all that stuff ironed out before you go. Or work things out with little Jimmy. The other thing is too is if you find ways to, if you're going to leave something to someone, figure out ways tax-wise where maybe you could do it before you're gone and they get the benefit of it now. I don't know how possible that is, but I still think it was awesome. This guy had, 40 acres of land. He's got 3 of his sons still living there. They're all employed. They're all upstanding citizens, productive people, and they have better lives because they don't have a mortgage looming over them. Anyhow, do with that what you will. Love you. God bless.